Hi, this is David Voss, CCIE 11372, and in this video you're going to learn about security management. Specifically, you're going to learn about security threats and risks, security targets, security policies, and then threat defense. So let's begin. The CCDA candidate must understand the reasons for network security, including the systematic approaches to managing security. Cisco invented a concept called self-defending network, which describes the network infrastructure and the services used in order for the network to respond to attacks. First, let's talk about security threats and risks. Efficient security mechanisms must address organizational threats and mitigate risks successfully. The network designer should create a secure environment for the organization by doing everything he can to prevent attacks, while ensuring that the security features have minimal effect on end-user productivity. A network security implementation must mitigate multiple factors and accomplish the following: block outside malicious users from getting access to the network, allow only system, hardware, and application access to authorized users, prevent attacks from being sourced internally, support different levels of user access using an access control policy, and safeguard the data from being changed, modified, or stolen. The next thing we will concern ourselves with are the targets. What are the targets on the network? And this helps you develop a good security policy and posture. Targets on the network include the following: any kind of network infrastructure device such as a switch, router, security appliance, or wireless access point; network services such as DNS, ICMP, DHCP; endpoint devices, especially management stations that perform in-band or out-of-band management; and network bandwidth, which can be overwhelmed by denial of service attacks. The security policy is a small part of a larger network security system lifecycle that is driven by an assessment of the business needs and comprehensive risk analysis. Risk assessment may also need to be performed using penetration testing and vulnerability scanning tools. The security policy should contain written documents that include the following: guidelines, processes, standards, acceptable use policies, architectures and infrastructure elements used, and then granular areas of security policy such as internet use policy or access control policy. The most important aspects covered by the written security policy and procedures are identifying the company's assets, determining how the organization's assets are used, defining communication roles and responsibilities, describing existing tools and processes, defining the security incident handling process, and then a steering committee will review and eventually publish this security policy after all the important documents have been finalized. Some of the best practices for protecting the network infrastructure through trust and identity include the following: use AAA services with the Cisco ACS server, use 802.1x, port authentication, logging using syslog and SDEE. This is a protocol used by Cisco IDS and IPS sensors to send information to the management stations. Using SSH instead of Telnet to avoid any management traffic crossing the network in clear text. Using secure versions of management protocols such as SNMP version 3, NTP version 3, and SFTP. Harden all network devices by making sure unnecessary services are disabled. Use authentication between devices that are running dynamic routing protocols. Use the Cisco one-step lockdown feature on network devices to harden them. Use ACLs to restrict management access, allowing only certain hosts to access the network devices. Use IPsec as an internal encryption method or external VPN solution. and then use Cisco Network Admission Control Solution, which ensures that network clients and servers are patched and updated in an automated and centralized fashion. So here's what you've learned. You've learned about security threats and risks, security targets, security policies, and threat defense. All of these you will need to understand, not only for your CCDA exam, but also to support your own network. Good luck in your studies.